All right. I got the cigar. I'm in somebody else's house, so I can't light it. But I got it because the Tennessee Volunteers beat Alabama 24-17, scored 24 points in a half of football. What a time to be alive. I didn't think I'd see the day. And it was more than enough to beat Alabama. Holy cow. I about passed out there, Crump. What's up, man? How are you?
How are you feeling?
Not unwell. That was a rough one. Obviously living on the edge of our seats. That is for dang sure. Even when they got that lead, and I just still, man, anyway, obviously I'm Charlie Burris. That is former Vols quarterback Jonathan Crompton. This is the A to Z Sports Big Orange postgame reaction show brought to you by Zen Sports and Farm Bureau Health Plans. We'll talk about them in just a minute. But boy, oh boy. There's a lot to unpack because that second half, I think you saw a few things. You saw that Dylan Sampson's a dog still. That one was obvious. We knew that before anything else. 17 touchdowns on the year. Absolutely absurd. But you saw what can happen. He in no way was he perfect in that second half, but you saw what can happen when Nico finally hits those throws. It was obviously, I don't care about, breaking too much down. We're obviously going to, but I mean, you beat Alabama for the second time in Heupel's tenure for, 2 years, 2 consecutive times in Neyland. What a feat. What an accomplishment, truly.
Yeah. Yeah, no, honestly, so for first thing, for any Alabama fan that's going to go, oh, well, Nick Saban went 6-6 in his first year. Well, Nick Saban didn't have a loaded roster. Nick Saban had a typical crap Alabama roster.
DeBoer has Saban's roster.
That's what I'm saying. DeBoer, I was a DeBoer fan of him, like when he was at Washington. But the reality is he's not made for the SEC. You're in the same, I'm going to say right now, as for Alabama or this generation Alabama fan, you got to understand the typical Alabama person of my age or older understands Alabama is typically a 6-6 to 7-5 football team, right? So this generation Alabama fan, they are calling for his head because he lost to Tennessee and Vandy in the same year. He's over in the state of Tennessee. That is not going to go over well for him at all.
Yeah, I would say that. And I brought this up in our show this week in the breakdown of this game. I don't want to toot my own horn here, but I chose Tennessee to win. I said they would win by 3, so they covered it a little bit more than that. But I brought up that the Saban factor, what you had in him was always, the way that I described it on the show was that it was this specter that was always out there of just like, how is he going to shut the door on us? Because it just was always a possibility of like, yeah, we might be ahead by 3 points or whatever, but we're playing Nick Saban. He's going to shut the door on you. Like that's always what was out there. And I think it came to bear that DeBoer is at least not yet. Maybe in the future he will be, but at least not yet. He's not that guy.
Well, look at that 4th and 7. Under Saban, that dude never shoves Boo in the face.
Yeah. Oh,
listen, that ain't gonna happen. You're not going to be in a 4th and 22. Under
Case in point.
Granted, we're just talking hypothetical at that point. I'm just saying, like, you can tell. Everybody saw the past 17 years or whatever it was since Saban was been there. That stuff didn't happen under Saban. They just showed a stat that in the last 15 years, Alabama only had 19 games with not leading in the fourth quarter. That's the Saban effect.
That's wild.
DeBoer, as much as I was a fan of him at Washington, he is a Pac-12 guy. He is not an SEC guy. It's plain and simple. What's the old buddy that came to Boise State to Auburn? He's Pacific Northwest. He ain't SEC. Everybody makes fun of it, but like it is different. It is. You watch NC State, UNC, Wake Forest, Florida State, Miami, Cal, Minnesota, Maryland, Kansas, all these other places on TV, and you can't hear their crowd. SEC games, you go, dang, I hear that through the camera. It is different. It is. And Neyland is, I'm telling you, as an opposing team, you don't want to go to Neyland Stadium. You just don't.
I mean, you can feel just watching it on TV, I love rewatching games that were in huge games where Tennessee wins in Neyland Stadium. It pulses through the screen. I mean, it is genuinely on a different level. And obviously, if you've been there, and we both have a ton, I mean, it gets in your soul. And it affected Bama like crazy in this game. Coaching, a factor. The stadium, a huge factor. And so much credit to all the fans. Obviously, there were some kind of funny, some of them fake, quotes from Kalen DeBoer this week where, Tennessee fans were trying to challenge, oh, we got to go in there. We got to be loud. They brought it for every second of that game. I mean, even when it was getting tough, the fans were there. And then on top of that, obviously, the defense just brought it.
Mr. Jones, right before you got on, there was a comment and it says Tenna-DE Vols, like Tenna-D Vols, because we're a defensive. Let's call it like it is. Our offense, hey, we made plays when we need to make them. Dylan Sampson is our he is our offensive MVP, hands down.
Yeah.
26 carries, 139 yards, 2 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? Like, he is our MVP. But overall, we are a run and defense team, plain and simple. Our defensive line did what they're supposed to do in the second half. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's who we are. And that can win you a lot of games. In today's world, to win a championship, we have to. And I'm not saying this to not be excited about tonight, because anytime Florida and Alabama lose, especially Tennessee, an angel gained its wings. That's just I'm being serious.
It's still true.
That's how it works. When those two lose, especially to Tennessee, plural angels gain their wings. And but we have to be better in the pass game to win a championship. I called it preseason, we'd be 11-1. We're on that path. Now we just got to take care of the rest of the year.
It is. I don't know exactly how to react to this yet. I'm still kind of processing. I was shaking at the end of that game. I mean, it was just so intense, and you obviously want to beat Bama so badly, but there is a lot to unpack here that makes it tough, because beating Alabama by itself, it's almost like I can't bring myself to say anything that isn't just, holy cow, I can't believe they did that. What an accomplishment. But you do have to point out the way that they won this game is so, what's the right word? Fascinating, I guess.
Well,
Gritty is a great word. You had 0 points at halftime. 0 points at halftime. And they had 7. They finished with 17, so Alabama only scores 10 points in the second half. I don't think that you can say enough about the defense. But the offense suddenly wakes up and scores 24 in that second half. I thought it was going to take a defensive touchdown. I thought it was going to take, Lord knows what. But there's going to be a lot to unroll here, because I think some folks have been saying it in the comments, like, you have to mention, on top of Dylan Sampson being a dog, Nico finally made those throws. And people were saying in this week leading up, it seemed like if they just hit those big plays where he was overthrowing, things could happen finally. And it did. At the same time, he wasn't perfect. He had overthrows in that second half. But a big one that needs to come up, the offensive line had a much better game. And I think in that second half in particular, they showed some real fight. There's just a lot. But at the end of the day, what I have to keep coming back to is you beat Alabama twice in a row in Neyland Stadium, 2 out of the last 3. You cannot say enough about what Josh Heupel has done here, even if the product in whatever sense looks ugly for a bit,
But remember though, the product also is, we're still recruiting. We've got to get depth. And I'm telling you, I've said we have to have depth at the quarterback position. We have to. Nico is going to be good, but Nico's not there yet. We have to get depth at the quarterback position. There's a couple throws, and before I even say anything, I don't want anybody to be like, oh, you're not happy about the win. Once again, an angel gained its wings tonight. Screw Alabama and screw everything about it. I've never liked that place. Even like the state in general, not just the school, but like the state.
I wasn't going to say it, but I agree.
No, but I'm just being honest. Like, I'm talking about the state. So that has nothing to do with so it has nothing. I'm not taking away from tonight. And just the harsh reality is we scored on the go-ahead touchdown. Phenomenal time to score. But sometimes we're making it harder than we need to. You know what I'm saying? We do.
Well,
defensive holding, we throw the ball outside. And this is what goes in my head. I'm like, I'm wondering if certain times, I don't know. I know other schools do this. I don't know if we do. Certain times it looks like he's prone to throw the ball to a specific receiver like he's told to. I don't know if he is, because he looks to the right, throws the ball outside, and literally nobody went with the slot. The guy actually fell down. Now, granted, we scored on the drive, so I'm not taking that away. I'm just wondering what is being taught. I won't know because I'm not in their meeting rooms.
Well, this has to be brought up because I think what you showed tonight is that if you more consistently hit like we saw with Hendon Hooker in this game, you blow Alabama out. You would have blown these boys out of the gym. And that's what you're working with here with the defense that you have right now, with how elite they are. I mean, if you can put this stuff all the way together, you're not just going to squeak by Alabama. You might beat Georgia and Athens. I mean, that's where you're at. And it's like that. And that's what makes it, honestly, that's what makes it almost so like sickening when you watch the offense, like from that first half, and you just go, oh my gosh, if we could just score. You held Alabama to 7 points. We should be up 21-7 right now. And I think, and you saw in that second half, you saw the proof. I think the proof of concept there that if you just score the football, this team's really got something.
No, I don't disagree. Something that came to my head. I heard this a couple weeks ago. It was before Vandy played Bama. There's only 4 states. I don't know the answers. I'd have to Google it. That under Nick Saban, that all the teams in the state had beat Alabama. Tennessee was not one of them because Vandy had never beat them. deBoer's been there 8 months and has already lost to Vandy in Tennessee. Oof. That's what I'm saying. Is like that, and for this generation Alabama fan, that's the standard of what they say. Oh, and first, we should never lose to Vandy. Vandy's Vandy to me. Kentucky's Kentucky. I will die on that hill, right? So that's where I'm saying, like, we went out there and physically, this was an old school SEC matchup. Physically beat them up in the second half. Honestly, we did. And I love the last call by Tim Banks. They played cover 6, went cover 2 to the field and cover 4 to the boundary and disguised it. And he ran a dig. Now the ball was behind him. But when you play cover 4, digs are not great to throw because the safety jumps the digs. And we jumped it beautifully for the pick in the game. That was a great call at the perfect time and a hell of a disguise by the safety to show 2, but really playing 4 for the interception.
And just to show how well things are working with that offense, I mean, Will Brooks is a walk-on for this team. I mean, what a play. And obviously you see right there's a reason that he's starting and that he's playing a ton. But I mean, that's where that defense is. And it was a beautiful play. And I was happy to be vindicated on this. Another thing I said in the lead up to this, in my decision to say that Tennessee would beat Alabama, I said that Jalen Milroe was shakeable, and he was all over the place in this game. And I mean that in a bad way. Like he missed a bunch of throws, and you forced him into bad situations. You were crushing him. I mean, they had pressure on, it seemed like, every single play. And he is not Bryce Young. Bryce Young came into Tennessee and threw for 500 yards in a loss. Thank God. I mean, what a game that was. But threw for 500 yards. Milroe's not that dude. He can beat you with his legs. I mean, I texted this to our A to Z group during that game. Their entire red zone offense is just throw up a 50-50 ball to Ryan Williams. Like, that's their whole red zone. Dude, that's all it is.
I text my dad, like in our group texts, my dad and some buddies, and one of them's a big Alabama guy. And I was like, guys, their offense ain't that hard. It's throw a go route to Williams.
Yes, that's all they do, man. That's all they do. Yeah.
Like, It is. No, what's this? Before we called a timeout on 4th and 22, what were they doing? Throwing a go ball to Williams.
Yep. And what a crazy
going wrong. Rude's a hell of a player, but that can't be your offense. That can't be every gotta have it situation, throw it up. So kudos to Tim Banks for doing our due diligence and game planning and taking him out of the game. He had what? Look, hold on. He had 8 receptions tonight. Okay. 8 receptions for 73. But he didn't do anything to beat us because we held him in check.
Exactly.
It was a phenomenal game plan defensively. And honestly, they ran that. They went bunch to our sideline, so I'm going to say bunch left, and they tried to do a tight end toss counter play. They hit us in the first half, and then the next time they ran it, we almost intercepted the pitch. That's in-game adjusting. That's in-game coaching. We did a phenomenal job of that tonight. We did. Whatever Heupel said at halftime got the offense going. Samson was obviously more healthy in the second half because he got his ankle taped late in the first and came out there and showed the dude that he is.
Trying to think exactly where to go, because here's what you're running into, Crump, and I can see it in the comments when we talk about Nico. Folks are taking it as a little negative, and I don't necessarily want to take it there. We can talk about. Well, we do need to talk about it. Nico's.
I'm listening. I'm just reading comments. I'm listening.
Without making people in the comments say you're negative, Crump. What is your overall take on what to this point? Essentially, you're 7 games in, you're 6-1.
Yeah.
Nico to this point, and I guess I asked specifically, is that second half proof of him growing and getting better? Is it the offensive line was playing better? Is it the wide? What happened there?
And in all honesty, what I feel, well, first off, I was going to mention this earlier. I was very glad to see that when he started running the ball, he lowered his shoulder. Like that was, you know what I'm saying? Like that was, I loved seeing that. And I'm not saying to go in there and try to be a fullback, but he lowered his shoulder and delivered and got an extra 1 to 2 yards. That I did like to see. I thought his zone reads were better in the second half. I don't know how many we did in the first half because we don't know the play calls. But overall, I think at the moment, he's doing what Heupel's asking him to do. He's not losing the game. Down the road, you can see where he's going to try to say, hey, now go win the thing for us.
Yeah.
At the moment, that's what I take out of it is like, I just think that Heupel's going, hey, man, we've got a damn good running back that probably is going to leave after this year. Let's just call it like it is. Hope he doesn't. And I text you in our group text. Dylan Sampson's going to go down as one of my all-time favorite Vols to wear orange. He is. I love watching him play. I just love everything. I love everything about him on the field. And I've been that way since his freshman year. Right. But I don't think what I'm getting is back to what I'm saying is with him in the backfield, I don't think Heupel's going, Nico, just go win the game. You don't need to. We got a dude here. We got a dude beside you. So don't lose the game. And it's exactly what Alabama used to do with McElroy, who was calling the game because he had Mark Ingram in the backfield. That's kind of the field at the moment. Now, granted, Nico is better talent-wise than McElroy was talent-wise. It's the fact that I think we'll get to that point. He's only a redshirt freshman. So I do think we're going to each week we'll see a little growth and a little growth and a little growth, or at least that's what I'm hoping to see. But I don't think the whole playbook is there yet. And I think that's on purpose.
Yeah.
And I think that's on purpose.
I love this point from Ethan here. He said, Nico settled in after he ran with getting contact. You made this point, I think, was it last week or maybe the week before? I believe you said something to the effect of Nico needs to run and get cracked and realize I'm not going to die.
One good time.
And he did that.
But deliver the blow. And he did that tonight.
Yes,
he did.
He lowered his shoulder, and brought a hit to somebody. I mean, and showed truly his physicality. I tweeted that during the game, and and people took it as I was flat out calling for him to be replaced. But I said, if you're not going to run Nico and take advantage of his physicality, play somebody else. Because this dude is massive. And let him use his legs, because if you don't make him respect that's such a powerful weapon. It was so powerful with Hendon Hooker. And they just haven't done it, or he hasn't done it, or whatever's been going on there. But I was just feeling like, I mean, if you're not going to fully take advantage of this dude, and it's not like he has to throw a spectacular pass to run the football, and he just has moves. He's slippery, he's physical, and he's giant. I mean, let the man run with the football, and you saw there proofs in the pudding there. And you can take that tweet as me calling for his job. Fair enough. A lot of people did, but ultimately I was just like, use him to his full potential. Like, let this man go out there and bring it.
You know what I think his best play tonight was? In all honesty, the third down that he stepped up in the pocket and avoided the defensive end and ran for 27 yards to get us inside the 5.
Huge. What a huge play. It was massive.
That to me, that right there showed the growth of me, and to me, and the fact of, and this, I love this aspect. The quarterback of a defender, anytime you pump fake, is going to jump. He was about 2 yards past the line of scrimmage and still pump faked to run. That, to me, that was a little thing that showed growth. That's what I'm getting at. I don't think we have to open the playbook from A to Z, pun intended, just yet. We need him to be, the first week A to B, the second week A to D, then get to F, and just progress into it, because we have such a good tailback and we have guys out wide that can make plays. Now Squirrel is obviously hurt.
Yeah,
you can tell. Was that a great ball? It's a great ball. If his shoulder's not dinged up, he catches that ball. But you can tell.
I saw a report that he went to the hospital. Squirrel did.
And I wouldn't be surprised, because this is the third straight game that he's had to leave for the same shoulder. But what I'm saying is, including Squirrel, when Squirrel's healthy, we got dudes that can make plays all over the field. He doesn't have to be the playmaker. Just don't do the Milroy and lose it.
Yes.
That's what I'm giving him credit for. I said this early in the year, especially after Oklahoma. I said, guys, he's not letting him. He's holding him back because he's protecting him.
Yeah, I mean
sometimes protecting looks inconsistent, and it sucks as a fan. Protecting can look like inconsistency because you go, we're very predictable.
I mean, you saw with Gaston Moore when he came in, like, Nico's your dude. And they are gonna ride this guy until they simply can't anymore, because they threw all their chips onto the table with him, and he beat Florida and he beat Alabama, and there you go, and he made the plays that had to be made when it mattered. That huge run, the big throws. A terrible first half, but got it together enough to beat an Alabama team that was extremely beatable, and he went and did that, and that counts for a ton. And you got to think, hopefully he just gets better from here. I mean, James Fair says it here. I mean, you can't help but almost feel this way. Should have been 52-17. Love beating Bama. Go Big Orange. Go Big Orange. And it does almost feel that way.
A win is a win, but you're not wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of said it earlier when people were saying it the whole probably last couple of weeks. It feels like Tennessee's touching on something and just not connecting. And if it connects, you got a real thing going. And this second half is that proof. Case in point. Period. If you do what you did in that second half against Alabama in every half for the rest of the season, was it perfect and 100% correct all over the field? No. Absolutely not. But you'll beat almost everybody. And I, like I said, I think you'll give yourself a chance not to just beat all of the lower teams, but to beat Georgia and Athens. I mean, and obviously that's the ultimate test to show that maybe at some point this offense will travel. But yeah, we'll
think about it though.
We'll wait to see on that one.
Georgia offensively is not a world beater, so they're definitely beatable. Like the rest of our games are winnable. They are. The rest of our games are 100% right in our face, winnable to go 11-1. We go 11-1, regardless of playing in Atlanta. We're in the playoffs.
Yeah,
it's that simple. It is that simple. But now here's the best part, and I'm not saying this in a negative way, Ben Hall. I don't want you to think I'm saying it negative. No, I don't want you to think I'm being negative here, honestly. If we slip up one more game, we're still in.
Yeah, you can now afford to lose that Georgia game.
Exactly, because we beat Bama. You can now afford one more, and 10-2, we're still in. Now we're not going to get a home game. We won't be 5-8. We'd be 9-12, but still getting in.
But you go and give yourself a chance against like a Ohio State or something, and go to Columbus. And I mean, they lost to Oregon already. Like, give yourself that chance.
You can't win it if you ain't in it.
Exactly. You miss 100% of the shots you never take. I mean,
that's exactly right. So that's the thing. That's where I go. And I was reading a comment about asking if I think the last 2 quarters would boost Nico's confidence. I don't know. You can see it. I don't know if he actually ever loses confidence, which is a good thing. No, what I'm saying, I don't think he loses any, which is a good thing. Because I think if Heupel is the coach that I think he is, he's talked to him about, like, I mean, I'm not going to put this, I'm not putting this on your shoulders. Like, we will open as we go. We'll open it up as we need to, because we've got a damn good running back who's got 17 touchdowns in 7 games.
I think ultimately it has been tough to watch at times, but the coaching job that Heupel has done to this point, especially after it became clear that the plays were there to be made for Nico, which has been, I think, abundantly clear in the last 2-3 games. I think the coaching job that Heupel has done at this point is pretty darn solid. I think I
totally agree.
Yeah, and obviously, I mean, the defense speaks for itself. There's no denying that at all. But I think that he's handling the situation with Nico as well as he probably can. You just have to protect your guy, get him set up. And then again, I said it a bunch already. You saw in that second half what happens when those big plays finally connect. You beat Alabama. I mean, that's what happens. And I wanted to point this out. Speaking of Alabama and their fans, Andrew chimes in, I guess an Alabama fan, says, Tennessee won this game because of the refs. Yeah. Oh,
I'm going to take a shot. I'm going to take a shot in the dark and say Andrew is a Gen Z around 22 years old that's not ever had adversity with Alabama football because of Nick Saban. Before Nick Saban, Alabama football sucked ass. That's why nobody went there.
Shoot that directly into my veins. I mean, that is
am I wrong?
No, I always say
there's a reason why everybody my age or older did not go to Alabama unless you were in the early 90s.
They stunk my entire childhood. They were Tennessee back then during the dark days of Tennessee. Like
it's that simple. So that's just a shot in the dark. I'm guessing 22-24, probably, because obviously it's got Andrew the GOAT. So we need to dub ourselves the GOAT. Spoken like a true Alabama fan. So go ahead and take that L. Go ahead and break your cigar, make it your kindling around your fire. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't smoking that damn thing. It's pretty simple. It's okay. It's all right. Like,
yeah, you'll be back.
I'm not. Am I going to call? Here's the thing. But am I going to call Tennessee out too? Yeah, I'll call it like it is. But don't come here and be like, oh, the refs. Screw that. Now, the referees, trust me, they can affect it, but they didn't affect it tonight.
They were so undisciplined.
If anything, they tried to screw around and do it towards Alabama on PI calls. So I don't want to hear that.
Your boy at the end of the game slapped Boo Carter in the face. Now, Boo Carter was chirping him, and he should have been. Boo Carter was making plays.
But you're never going to stop. Listen, you're never going to stop a player from talking.
Yeah, exactly.
That's different. You can talk
turn
all
around
day
and
long.
Slap him in the face. Like is that the ref's fault that your guy slapped Boo Carter in the face? I'm sorry. What is he supposed to do about that? That's hilarious, man. After the history with Alabama, I bet that is a young person. After the history with Alabama,
like I said, I'm going 22-24. I could get more detail, but I don't want to be rude. You know what I mean? Like I could, and I guarantee you, I'm like 85% right with my super descriptive detail. But I'm not trying to be rude to this person more than I need to be.
Well, it is so gratifying. I mean, we had these conversations after Saban retired.
I love when Alabama fans get upset because they think they're the second coming of Jesus Christ.
Exactly. The fact that Tennessee gets to directly contribute to Bama fans facing the mortality of their program is so satisfying in a way that I can't describe. I mean,
you know what makes it better though? And I think you would agree with this. What makes it even better is Vandy's the icing on the cake.
Oh, shout out to Diego Pavia. We got to play them later this year, and I'm not taking them lightly, but good Lord.
No. We're not going to take them lightly. But bottom line is Vandy's Vandy, big dog. Like it is what it is. That's the way I look at it.
Exactly.
Hey, welcome to the Shula era in Alabama, Gen Zs.
I mean,
you'll know what I mean later.
Just like I said, it's so deeply satisfying, like a beautifully marbled steak, just satiating in a way that I cannot describe to you. Getting to give this to Alabama and just go, oh, you're a normal football team now. Here you go. Welcome back to earth. It's just,
you know what? Hey, Randy is right. Somebody send Pavia a cigar. Just,
seriously.
Right. Tonight is the whole state of Tennessee. Screw it. Anybody wants to play for the Memphis Grizzlies, you get a cigar. F it. Yeah. Let's go.
Vandy is struggling with Ball State at the moment, but
it doesn't matter. Actually, that makes this even more sweet. It's even more sweet for us.
Yeah. I mean, God, it's just that's the toughest part. Like, yes, you can pick apart like the first half and Nico did this and that and the shortcomings of whatever, but like, the feeling that this is right now, with beating Alabama 2 out of the last 3 years and kind of sticking it to them after Saban leaves and having beaten Saban while Saban was still there. Just all of that is just so perfect. And you're you're kind of in the catbird seat for a shot at the playoff. Like you just did so much with this game that was just so. What a second half! Congratulations to everybody involved.
Well, Amy brings up a good point here. She goes, "What about the fan injury? The coach pushing the player on the field. Players need to be ejected from the game." So every team has what's called a sniper. I'll be like, "Hey, like if I'm the coach, Charlie, you are the sniper. Like I'm sniping you,
the go down man."
Okay? Yeah, no, that's what it is. Everybody has it. But it used to just be you got no timeouts. They're on a 2-minute drive. Your D linemen are gassed. You've been on the field for whatever time. You know what I'm saying? That you were on the field for 9 plays. Your team went 3 and out, and you're back on the field for a 2-minute drive. Blah blah blah. And it would happen once. And it would be very seldom that it ever happened. Like very seldom. You'd practice it, and you may use it once a year. And I'm talking about maybe. That right there was blatant disrespect to the game of football.
Yeah.
Blatant disrespect to the game of football by their coaching staff because they had brought the rules guy in and goes, oh, well, they should have held the play. No, you got guys on the box too. It's the first play of a drive. See what personnel they're in. Stop acting like little babies. It's pretty damn simple. Go with it. You know what I'm saying? As they're running on the field, you see their personnel. It's not like they subbed. It's the first play of a drive. That's where, yes, I'm glad they did an illegal substitution. I am. Because at least that may start the talk about trying to get a change. Because it's everybody's doing it now.
I hope so.
And Like now, Alabama had an O lineman do it while they're on offense. That was not fake. He was actually hurt. He hurt his knee. That's different. But you can tell when it's staged.
Yeah.
And that, to me, that instantly needs to be a flag or a helmet deal where you have to go out for X amount of plays.
Yeah, it was gross.
Something. Like, it's something.
The solution people have thrown out is just having that player out for the rest of the drive. Just make it more consequential.
Something.
I don't know what it'll take. That should have been a personal foul, unsportsmanlike. I don't know. That was just absolutely absurd. Like, what an embarrassment. To your point of Kalen DeBoer not being ready for this league. I mean, just go all the way away from here with that. That's so stupid.
You know what just showed up? Matthew Pierce. Y'all go eat rotten chicken. Y'all cheated. You know what, Matthew? Here's my question. I have a question. Have you ever heard you win with class, you lose with class?
No.
Bro, that may be foreign language for you. So I'm going to say it one more time, and I'll slow it down so you can understand English. Win with class, lose with class. Okay. What that means is stop complaining about your loss. When we lose, me and Charlie get on here with our fans in the comments and talk about what we did, not about the dumb stuff that the opposing team did or the refs did and blah, 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 and all this crap, and blame people. Hell, I've been blaming our guys even after a win. Learn how to look in the mirror, Alabama fans. Learn how to look in the mirror and understand the world does not revolve around you.
We can say from plenty of experience in the last 15 years that complaining about the refs is the most loser behavior.
Ben, you're right. You'll see it, Charlie. Ben, you're right. Sorry.
Yeah. Look, like I said, complaining about the refs is the biggest loser behavior. Like, get out of town. You threw your guy slapped somebody in the face. Your quarterback threw an interception. Shut up about it. You lost this game. You're a loser, and goodbye. Okay.
Matthew, your is YOU apostrophe. You got to get an apostrophe RE there. Ben, you're right.
I can't. I'm not seeing it.
He said, okay, you're not lying. It's like you are, but he just spelled your. Like,
why are you okay? There it is. Okay, there it is. I looked right over it.
Yeah, Alabama. It makes sense. It all makes sense. We got to get the apostrophe in there.
That is a funny moment. Okay, we got to do this before we bounce out of here.
My bad.
Got to pay these bills. Tons of people watching right now. Just having fun here, folks. Tennessee 24, Alabama 17, an incredible celebration. The fans rushed the field and tore down the goalpost again. I don't know if that was totally necessary, but hey, it's fun.
Throw it in the river. Watch this. We're better than Vandy. Throw it in the river and leave it. Don't take it out like Vandy did.
Exactly. Keep that.
Throw that thing in there and make that. Come on.
They took it out, chopped it up, and sold it for NIL money.
I said we have the money to buy a new one. They don't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm in support of it. But if you beat Alabama another time, at a certain point, we gotta quit with the field rushing. But here's the deal: tons of people watching, tons of people commenting. Okay.
Before you do it, real quick, I swear to last thing because of that. This is why I'm going to disagree with that statement. Did you hear Nick Saban on game day?
It's where he said that this was the most meaningful rivalry for his players and things.
Well, so this was to Bama. This rivalry is bigger than Auburn for players. That's why you never stop rushing the field against Bama. That's why. It doesn't matter if it's 30 years in a row. You rush the field because it's the third Saturday. Dude, it's a damn holiday.
I want to see this. Randy said they need to stand them up in the river. Yeah, do a little trick with the goalpost. Stand them up, have it be a memorial in the river.
But that's the reason why, Charlie, I said we never stop rushing the field. And the only reason why is because it's the third Saturday in October. It's a tradition here. Yes, that's why. For both schools, it's a tradition. What other game do we have a cigar on the post-game show?
Exactly. And even if this turns into a streak for Tennessee, enjoy every single one of these because you can't forget the 15 years of
rush the field, pay athletic department, pay the fine, rush the field every damn year.
Well, here's what we got to do. We got to pay these bills and we got to get out of here and go watch this Texas game. Everybody who's watching, got a ton of people watching, commenting. Drop into the comments right now. Obviously, whole half of a season still ahead of you. You're in a pretty nice spot for the playoff. You just beat Alabama 24-17. What is one word to describe how you're feeling right now? Drop it into the comments. Go over to the comments. Tell us your one word for how you are feeling at this moment. Crompton will give his. I'll give mine. We'll read off everybody in the comments, or we'll try. It's always a ton of people. But we will do that, of course, right after I tell you about the good folks at Farm Bureau Health Plans. Farm Bureau Health Plans been serving Tennesseans for over 75 years. Much has changed in Tennessee over the years, but some have stayed the same. Farm Bureau has always valued personal relationships, especially when it comes to good health and good service. Plan on Farm Bureau for health, dental, and vision. For better coverage, better rates, and better service, go to fbhp.com/ATOZ or walk into one of their 200-plus locations across the state. That is fbhp.com/ATOZ. Farm Bureau Health Plans. Again, your one word for how you are feeling at the moment after Tennessee takes down Alabama. The goalposts for the second time in 2 years are in the river, apparently. Crazy times on Rocky Top. Nico, for as much grief as we've given him, beats Florida, beats Alabama in back-to-back weeks.
No, and that's a positive that we're critiquing.
And you beat Alabama.
And expecting a lot, and we're beating our rivals. So, like, I'm being critical because I see the talent. I'm being critical because I see the ability of this team. If we clean certain things up, you know what? Everybody better watch out.
Yes. So here's some one words from the folks in the comments. Ethan says 10-2. Oh, let's go 11-1. Ethan, right now. Pat says relieved. Amy says awesomeness. Cameron says McCoy. Hopeful from Tyler. Hopeful from Alan. They're back-to-back right there. NSFW says Evan. Ecstatic says Rob. David, Woo, Monty, nervous. Debbie, nervous. Interesting. Nervous for the rest of the season. Timothy says happy. Crompton, I'll throw it to you. Your one word for how you're feeling.
1 second. Hold on.
You were trying to cue something up. Here, drummer says cloud 9. Division says hopeful. Randy, stoked. Amy, proud. All right, play where you're going to... Do you have it?
Oh, yeah.
There it is. Let's go.
So here's the thing. The way I look at it is all the Alabama fans can shove it. All the Florida fans can shove it. Watch this. You're not going to say a damn thing to me that's going to hurt my feelings. That's going to be like, oh, my God. Like, you can't at this point in life say something that's going to hurt my feelings. I mean, it's just what it is. It's okay. The bottom line is I bleed orange. That power T is engraved like in me. Held my high school as the power T. I played college with the power T. I'm back at my high school coaching high school football with the power T. So the bottom line is F all of them.
Here's what you are.
I know we're off subject on the one word, but it is what it is to me. I'm ecstatic right now for the guys. And this team deserves it. I've been critical. I want to be critical because if I'm being critical, that means I care. That means these guys. This is what I tell my players all the time. If I'm critical of you, it means I know you can do it. If I'm not, then that means I just don't care. Nico can do it, I think, but I know I can tell he's holding him back on purpose. That's a good thing because, guys, Dylan Sampson is a damn dude. He is a dude. And we're going to be just fine. We're going to be just fine. But I'm going to tell you, it doesn't matter. Anybody that's not wearing the power T and that's not Tennessee, that's honestly how I feel. Trust me, that's my players. F them all. It don't matter. We are who we are. No, but we are who we are. like it or love it or leave it. It don't matter. And that's what I want our personality as Tennessee to be back to. It used to be that. We're getting back to it.
Yeah.
I want that back. I want the you personality without going to prison.
Yes.
I want teams.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
I want every team to go, damn. I mean, Neyland Stadium's always hard to play in, but dude, have you seen that defense? Or damn, look at that. Have you seen those skill players? Have you seen the offensive line just completely annihilate those D lines no matter what? That's what, and we're getting there. And it's fun as crap to watch. It's so fun to watch. I'm ecstatic. Multiple Angels gained their wings the past 2 weeks. It's phenomenal. Like literally the whole state of Florida, for whatever reason, my whole life, I've never liked the state of Florida for no reason. Alabama, Texas, and in California. I have zero reason why.
I'm going to Florida in a couple of days. I'm going to wear a Tennessee shirt the entire time.
I don't know why you would. There's nothing there.
You got to take a break during the off season. I'm going to go take advantage of the Florida beaches with my Tennessee shirt on. But
good.
Exactly. Trish says resilient. Good. Vicky says proud. Again, one word for how you're feeling after that huge Tennessee win over Alabama. Orange-tastic, says Leslie. Rodney says PTSD. Billy Orange Shriek says elated. Top Troop just says this is a laughy face. Defense, says David Polk. And to that point, I'll give mine. I'll say different. This team is just different. Like in 22, you beat Alabama with not just offense, 52 points, and it was absolutely insane. This team is just different. They got that whole defense is just a set of dogs. They're all just dudes, and they're making plays for you, and then the offense can complement them when they make those plays, and this team is just different. There's winning games in a different way from how you've seen with Heupel, and it's really impressive. As much grief as we've given them in the last few weeks, you are 6-1 and you just beat Alabama. Like, what are we supposed to say? It's really cool.
You're right, because think about it. Last week, Florida. It doesn't matter if both teams are 0-10. It doesn't matter in the third Saturday in October, both teams are 0-6 or 7. Right? Those two games for all three teams, but like the two games, it doesn't matter. And being able to pull both of them out the way that we did and not play our best and took every shot that they had, they pulled out all the stops, both teams. And we took the left jab, right? We took it to the chin. And then we said, all right, here's the uppercut. Here's the Mike Tyson. Go ahead and go home. Get on that plane and pick up your tail. Pick up your nose for the elephants. Take your butt to the airport and get out of here with an L. We're building something to go, hey, let's go make it to the playoffs, and nothing's going to surprise us. That's what's fun to see.
I can't believe that with Heupel and everything that we thought of with him coming in, that we're having a season where we're having the like defense wins championships conversation. Like it's so wild. It's so wild. And
yes, can y'all read that? Can y'all read that? It says, we got this. Literally have it tattooed on my arm for a reason.
We do. 24/17, baby.
Like that, but that's the way. That's how my mind works.
Yeah,
like you can tell our team is like, don't sweat it. We got that. Yeah. We're good. We got this. They have each other's back. Watch them celebrate with each other after a big play or after a touchdown. It's not an individual celebration. It's like 14 dudes. Like that. You're right. You're right. I got to piggyback off of that. Different. You're right.
They are. It's just it's a whole different sort of philosophy from what we've seen from Heupel at this point. It's really crazy, but what a time to be alive. It's tons and tons of fun. I gotta go eat. I haven't had
dinner. Gotta eat and smoke a cigar.
And I gotta eat first before smoking. So again, I'm at somebody's house, so I couldn't light it up. I'm not in my own home. I can't smoke up somebody's place, but anything else, Crump, before we bounce out of here?
No, it's a great time to be a Tennessee Vol. We'll say it that way. Florida and Bama back-to-back weeks at home, sending them losers back to wherever the hell they came from. It's a good time. So everybody enjoy this. Everybody go get a cigar. Smoke that thing up. You know what I mean?
I went on the way to this watch party here. Went and bought me this. I said, I'm gonna need this later. I'm gonna need it. Look out. I did.
Yep.
Guys,
we said it all year. We have the ability, the schedule lines up. Now, Arkansas is Arkansas, whatever, doesn't matter. We have the ability to go 11-1 or 10-2. Even at 10-2, we're in. 11-1, we're getting a home game. You know what I mean?
Kentucky
and I'm just
going
to warn. But Charlie, I'm going to warn you. We mess around and have a home game. I ain't going to be on the halftime show. Okay. I'm just going to tell you now. It ain't going to happen.
That's
I will be there. I will be there with a cigar.
That will be a sight to behold if that ends up happening. Lordy.
I'm just saying. We have the ability now. We just got to do it. We have the ability now. We just got to do it. It's plain and simple.
It's time. It's time to take advantage. Get to that playoff. Give yourself a chance. You never know what'll happen. All right. Charlie Burris, Jonathan Crompton, we cannot thank you enough for watching. This was a great time. Thank you to everybody for tuning in. Forgive me for my in-game tweets. We all know I noted dummy when it comes to emotional in-game tweets. That's me, baby. And I will own that all day long. But Charlie Burris, former Vols quarterback, Jonathan Crompton. Oh man, go Big Orange. Tennessee 24, Alabama 17. Go on home, Bama. Take this L with you. Oh man, so great. Yep. All right.
Yep.
That is it. We will be back for the Kentucky game, halftime, postgame, A to Z Sports, Tennessee Vols channel on YouTube. Go over there, subscribe, yada, yada, yada. You know what to do. Thank you again for watching. And the Big Orange podcast with myself, Zach Reagan, on Mondays. Or sorry, it's actually going to be tomorrow. Tomorrow at 6 p.m., but I'll talk about that on Twitter. All right. That's it. And we will talk to y'all in 2 weeks.